Hey, welcome to the Wealth Seed. I believe this is episode 15. I am Lexi Johnson, your financial strategist, your financial coach, consultant, advisor, and we are here with another fantastic episode. Today, we're going to be talking about values-based investing. Values-based investing. What does that mean exactly? What does that look like? And what group of people actually have more of the propensity to do such a thing. And so we're going to get to that in just a moment. But as usual, we start out with our crazy money story. And today, for our crazy money story, um, this is actually a story about how we can leave money on the table. And many of us have done this. I'd venture to say maybe all of us at some point or another have left some money on the table for minute reasons, right? So let's listen to this story, then we'll talk about it some more. So there was a lady who years ago had a health savings account. So I'm sure many of you are familiar what a health savings account is. If not, sometimes an employer will offer what's called a health savings account. You put monies into this account. It comes directly out of your, comes automatically out of your pay, just like almost like a 401k, but it's not an investment, right? It's just a savings account. And so any monies that you would have to pay out of pocket for health savings would come out of that account. Some employers even they actually put money in that account for you, right? So anyway, she had a health savings account, and she was preparing the work to cash in $4,000. So with the health savings account, usually at the end of the year, you have to cash in whatever you have because at that time, I don't know what companies do this in these days because I haven't worked for a company in ages, but what they did was you had to cash that money out at the end of the year because they would not roll it over, right? And so she had $4,000 that she could claim. Okay, that's how much they had spent in medical bills for that particular year. So this was before they had, how you can report these things online. Of course, technology these days makes all these things easy. She had to actually take a form. She had to, itemize, write out every single medical expense, include receipts and things like that. And I remember having to do this back in the day when I was working in corporate, right? And so $4,000 worth may have taken some time for her to actually fill out, right? So anyway, she had completed it, and then she had the corresponding receipts, and she gave it to her husband to fax it in, right? Remember, this was years ago, because now you don't have to fax most, because now they got it where you can upload your stuff right there online, so you don't have to do fax or mail or anything like that. But before that, you had to fax or mail, right? So she gave it to her spouse to fax it in. So weeks later, she learned that he did not fax the stack of papers. So guess what? $4,000 gone, just like that, right? And I mean, it was a little thing, just facts. You know what I'm saying? So maybe he forgot, maybe he was putting it off. But you know what? We tend to do stuff like that, and we can leave money on the table, right? So sometimes uh, we may be required to submit certain documentation or whatever, and we're just like, oh, I don't feel like doing all that. So we leave money on the table. Or we need to mail some papers in, fax some papers in. Maybe we won't even need to fax anymore. We just need to upload, and we'll be like, I'll do it tomorrow, right? And then tomorrow becomes, I'll do it tomorrow, and then I'll do it tomorrow. And then you forget about it, and then you miss your deadline, right? And then you lose out on the monies. Or something happens, and the entity that you're turning this into has made a decision, and they're like, no, we're not giving you this money. There's an appeal process, right, to appeal the decision, but you're like, oh, I don't want to go through that, right? Like for me, that's very true, because right now there's something going on that I'm like, okay, I need to figure out what the appeal process is do it and get it done, right? Because it's actually, when they see it, it actually will go in my favor. But I've been procrastinating, right? And that's almost $3,000, right? And so it's like sometimes we look at these amounts of money and we're like, oh, it's not that much, or, whatever. But the truth of the matter is, it really is a whole lot, no matter how little it is. $100, $200, $3,000, $5,000. That's a lot, because that's monies that you can take. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I teach on the 3 storehouses. Storehouse number 2 houses your emergency funds and your opportunity funds. And so this is money that can go to one or two of those things. It can go towards your opportunity fund, particularly if it's money that you're just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you weren't even really willing to fight for it or or fill out the paperwork or whatever it is that you need to do for it. So you think it's just money that, you're not going to miss it or whatever. That's perfect money to go into your opportunity fund, because those are the monies that you should be using to invest in other things. So that's what I'm saying. It may look like $50 today, $100 today that you just kind of let slide, $1,000 today that you just kind of let slide. But honestly, if you took that 1,000 and you invested it, right? How much are you missing out on, right? So I hope we can all learn from that. And I know for me particularly, I was like, you know what? I need to get on that thing, get it in, because that's $3,000 that I can be investing somewhere, right? And growing. So that is today's crazy money story. Let me know what you think about that. But now we want to move on to our topic of the day, which is values-based investing. Values-based investing. I want to talk about what group is more likely to do values-based investing. So I'm asking you the question. So if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, what group of people do you think are more apt to do values-based investing? I'll even narrow it down for you, right? So genders, between the 2 genders, male and female, which are most likely to do values-based investing? Drop your comments in the chat. And we're getting ready to talk about it. All right. So listen, is it any surprise that, drum roll, I can't even do a good drum roll, but anyway, is it any surprise that women prefer investing in a way that helps the environment? They prefer investing in a way that does some social good. And, some studies will bear this out. It's not that men don't do it at all, but it's like women are more likely to do it, right? They want to invest in a way that, that helps, okay, that has impact, right? So there's a term that has been coined, and I don't know who it's been coined by, but it's called values-based investing. And honestly, I believe that this is an amazing way to encourage women, to keep them enthused about investing. Now, there's some misconceptions out there that women are less likely to take risk and invest and things of that nature. And that's just not true, right? There are studies and things that I've read that are not showing that, right? So that was maybe that has been the case in the past, but not today. And I can't tell you all the number of women that I talk to on a weekly basis who are excited about investing, right? And they're wanting to know, they're sitting on funds and they're wanting to know what to do with it, right? But they also want to invest in a way that not just generates profits for them, because of course that's what we invest, come on, because we want to make profits, but they also want to invest in a way that's going to do some good. says 52% of women would rather invest in companies that have a positive social or environmental impact. And this was a poll that was done by the Cerulli Associates. I hope I pronounced that right. It's Cerulli. And they say it's true for men as well, but at 44%. So women have this edge to be, more concerned about the companies they invest with, and if these companies align with their values. So as I say that, let's just talk about what values-based investing is, okay? And this is a great way because my clients that I work with, we always talk about aligning your money and your values, or your money and your principles, your values and principles, right? That your money, the way your money is allocated and spent and all that, it should reflect what you value. So too many times we'll say we value things, I don't know, like family, education, whatever it is that we value, our churches, our whatever you value, right? We say we value these things, but oftentimes when we look at our spending habits, they don't reflect those values, right? So clients of mine, we learn how to align our money with our values and our principles. Okay. So this is where this value base, when we begin to talk about investing, this is where this comes in. Okay. It's about looking beyond just the numbers, right? So when you're presented with an opportunity to invest, if it's in stock or bonds or mutual funds, you're going to look at the company and look at their numbers. You're going to look at, and looking at those numbers is going to tell you whether or not these companies are solid, or, they have promised, and are the numbers trending up, or we're looking at all kinds of things, right? And that's what we call fundamental analysis. So there's that. But values-based investing goes beyond that. So it's like, okay, yes, we're looking at the company's numbers, the balance sheet, in other words, but now, okay, those look good, but let's look beyond that. What is this company doing to have economic or social impact, right? What are the company leaders doing to have economic or social impact, right? So it's looking beyond that. Okay, this is just a good company to invest in, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to invest in Apple, but I'm going to look beyond that. What is Apple doing beyond just being a solid company and having great numbers and all of that? So women tend to, prefer companies that, yes, they're performing solidly, and they are also making an impact. So what is values-based investing? It is exactly what it sounds like. It is selecting investments that are based on your values, based on your principles. And this is not just about the stock market. This is also in whatever way that you invest. So whether you're investing businesses, whether you're investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whether you're investing in real estate, whether you're investing in yourself. So we're going to talk about how what these things look like in just a moment. But I want to say that under values-based investing, there are actually even 3 subcategories, right? So 1, social responsibility, right? Or socially responsible investing. So in this type of investing, we don't want to put money in industries that have negative impact on our environmental or social things. So like companies that produce tobacco, or companies that, I don't know, perhaps guns or whatever. You may not do that because you don't find those things socially responsible. Alcohol companies that sell alcohol, things like that. Drug companies, you're like, I don't know, these things are not socially responsible, so I'm not investing in those types of things, right? Then you've got So that's socially responsible investing, SRI. Then you've got ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance investing. And so this refers to um, companies that will represent, I don't know, women and minorities. They have women and minorities on their board. They have these things are, again, environmental, social, governance. And so, yeah, you might look at a company and says, okay, do they, do they have enough women working for them? Do they have enough people with disabilities working for them? Do they have, so those types of things, right? And then you've got impact investing, which these are companies that have a goal of using, their profits and funds and whatever to benefit some type of social or environmental change. So for example, maybe it's a company that invests in women's health. Maybe it's a company that invests in um, uh, children's, foster care or something like that, right? So women tend to look for these things more than men do. All right. So let's take these different types of investing and what can that look like. So we already talked about what it looks like if you're investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds. It's looking beyond the balance sheet, looking beyond the company's numbers, saying what are they doing outside of that, right? What kind of impact are they having? Let's talk about investing in businesses themselves. So there are businesses who will solicit people to invest. Okay. These are private companies, or so they're not publicly traded companies, but they have investors, right? And so you can look at these companies, startup or not, and again, you can be looking at, okay, beyond, this, what do these companies value? Do they even have a part of their business or an arm of their business that is giving back to society in some way, or giving back to the community in some type of way, right? Like with my company, Money Mastery for Her Enterprises, we have a humanitarian arm of the company where we do mission work. And each year we take a team of missionaries. Last year we took a team of 14 missionaries to Ghana and did some amazing work in Ghana with women and youth. We raised funds to help, excuse me, to help with the sanitary napkin situation there, because they can't, the price of sanitary napkins is so high that, a lot of times the women can't afford it, right? So we raised funds to be able to pass out sanitary napkins, thousands and thousands. So it was really great. But anyway, I don't want to get into all that. But so our company has this humanitarian arm, and this may be attractive to other people who will say, you know what, I'll spend my dollar with Money Mastery for Her, because they also do this work. They're also giving back, right? So that's what we talk about when we're talking about investing in businesses that have some type of, values that you can see that they are giving back to, right? So you can simply, hey, I'm going to be an investor, or you can take advantage of their services, because there's that end of it too, right? Like, hey, I need financial coaching, or I need life coaching. I need, what Money Mastery for Her has to offer. And it makes me even more want to have my services provided by them, knowing that my dollars go to support these things, right? All right, so that's business, right? So now let's talk about real estate. In real estate, there's so much good can be done. And so you can find companies, if you're investing passively, right? You can find companies that are actively doing real estate and you are just an investor. But you can also look at these companies and say, hey, what are they doing? How are they having an impact with what they're doing? Are they just out here, they're just making profits for themselves, growing bigger, bigger, bigger? They don't necessarily have um, a mission that they support outside of that, a mission that gives back to the community, or promote some type of positive social change, or whatever the case may be, right? So again, with Money Mastery for Her, we are going to be announcing very soon some ways that we're going to be getting in real estate investing passively. And we're going to be bringing some people along with us, right, who want to invest through our company in some opportunities in real estate, because what we're looking to do is to help people, particularly people who maybe have gotten foreclosed on, helping them to stay in their homes. About people who were not able to pay the taxes on their home. They don't have a mortgage, but they haven't paid. They're struggling to have to pay taxes on their home. So we want to invest in a way that allows that gives that person time to pay the taxes on their home, right? Or even if they can't invest, even if they can't pay the taxes on their home in a certain time period, that we take over the home, but then allow the person to stay in the home, right? If at all possible. So these are the types of things that we enjoy doing at Money Mastery for Her. So for you as an investor, question is values-based investing something that you would like to do? I'd like to hear from you. If values-based investing is something that you would like to do, drop a 1 in the chat, right? Drop a 1 in the chat. And if you already have an advisor, you're already doing investing, it's communicate that with your advisor, right? Because many of you may have people that are investing on your behalf because either you don't have the time to really learn how to invest, or you don't want to really learn too much about investing. You just want to hire somebody to do that for you. But they need to know that if this is the type of investing that you are wanting to be involved in, they need to know that, right? And they need to know, well, what kinds of things are you passionate about? What would you like to, see the companies doing, so that they can include that in your investing strategy, if you will, right? So again, drop a 1 in the chat if you are interested in values-based investing. I know at Money Mastery for Her, that's what we're about. Profits that we get in, sure, we want to, grow the company and sustain the company, of course, but we also want to have an impact on the world. Our motto is changing the face of wealth, right? That doesn't happen without giving back to the community, right? That means this is more than me and my company that that is going to change the face of wealth. One face doesn't change the face of wealth, right? So I want to bring along as many women as God will allow, right? Help them to make investment choices and decisions that will help them to become wealthy. Why? So that we can advance the kingdom of God. That's what we're about at Money Mastery for Her. So if that aligns with you, keep following us, because we have some amazing things that are coming up, amazing announcements that are going to be made. I'd say in 2 to 4 weeks. And the reason why I say 2 to 4 weeks, the first people that are going to hear about those announcements are the people that are in our private Money Mastery for Her group. And so if you're not in the group, make sure that you click the link and get in the group. And you want to do that before the year is out, because starting in January, there's going to be a subscription for the group. Right now, it's not going to be anything exorbitant or anything like that, but why not get in free when you can get in free, right? So don't wait. As you hear me saying this, click on that link, join the group. They are going to be the first people to hear about what's coming up, the pivot that we're making in Money Mastery for Her, how it will benefit those that we serve, and even better, how it will benefit society and the community and all of that. and even more how it's going to benefit, so how it's going to push forward the kingdom of God. And so make sure that you do that. Okay. All right. Well, I want to wrap up just by telling you I've already started to go into those announcements, so I'm going to continue going on. December 10th, Wealth Empowerment Retreat. If you've not gotten your ticket yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click on the link. You're going to see that down in the description as well. Get your ticket and get in the room. It is led out by Apostle Juanita Corey Jackson, who is all things real estate. And then I'll be part of that as well. And we'll also be joined by Minister Hope. And we're going to be going deep into some financial things to help you grow your wealth, right? This is a season and time of wealth transfer, but wealth transfer is not going to just fall in your lap without you doing something, because that's not the way it works in the kingdom of God, right? He says, I have given you the ability to get wealth, right? To create wealth. So that means you got to do some stuff, right? You're the one he gave the ability to, so you need to take those abilities and act on them. And so what we want to do during this retreat is to empower you, right? So you can take those abilities and do what God says that you can do, right? So that's the Wealth Empowerment Retreat. Apostle Juanita Corey Jackson, she's going to be talking about some things that you can do in real estate, stuff you probably didn't even know that you could do in real estate. I'm going to be talking about, how you can create wealth using insurance and some other things. And then Minister Hope is also going to be bringing her wealth of expertise. So you want to be in the room, get the ticket, okay? Don't waste time. Go get it. And we'll see you in the room on December 10th, okay? Other than that, I don't think I have any other announcements or anything at this time, except thank you for watching. Invite someone, share this with someone else, invite them to the Money Mastery for Her group. Which, let me say, this is for women, just in case, because I know I have males that watch the content because it's on these public channels, but the Money Mastery for Her group is for her, right? But men, the way you can get in and get a ear and begin ear hustling is to encourage your wives, like your girlfriends, or your daughters, nieces, whomever, to join the group so that you can ear hustle, right? And see what's going on too. All right. Other than that, that is it. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time with another crazy money story and another fantastic topic for the wealth seed. Talk to you soon. Bye.